We get into our drive chat now. It's proudly brought to you by MTN. Everywhere you go, Access Bank, your number one remittance bank. Access Bank, more than banking. Tasty Tom and Rich Tomato Mix. Wofakakra. Na ye baby. Gastron, your most effective antacid for the relief of systems of heartburns and stomach discomfort. A product of NS Chemist Limited. You know, it's a new world of doing business, and your business shouldn't be left out. It's time to get a Momo for business today. To accept payment from over 15 million Momo customers. All you need is a business registration certificate and your Ghana card. Applying to be MTN Momo merchant has been made simple, fast, and easy. You just have to dial *5051# and follow the prompt to apply online at momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh. You receive a reference number which you can use to track your application. So don't get caught waiting. Enjoy secure transactions and convenient transactions for your business with MTN Momo today. Know that application is free. Do not pay any money to anyone for a merchant payment solution. Report any fraudulent charges using the Momo app available on the Play Store and App Store as well. You know, say Ghana make hard pa. Charlie, everybody wants value for their hard-earned money. And when it comes to tomato mix, value for money means consistent and rich red color that doesn't color your meat or fish. Thick paste that gives you your desired quantity of soup or stew. Good tomato flavor that gives that consistent and unique taste to all your dishes as well. You can rely on Tasty Tom and Ray Tomato Mix for all of these, and that's why we say, Charlie, we your tomato mix and casa. No color changing, the bia cocoa kama, you know, just there, Charlie, on point. Choose Tasty Tom and Ray Tomato Mix and get value for money. You stand a chance of winning amazing prizes here on Drive Time. Just tell us how you prepare your favorite meal using Tasty Tom, and that's it. I tell you when we got to do that. But let's get talking now in our drive chat. I mentioned earlier that we'd have a conversation about security. Yeah, we're safeguarding joy, your joy this Christmas. You know, the festive season comes with heightened issues of security. And we thought that it's important that we educate ourselves and remind ourselves on the very basic tidbits and the things that we need to do to make sure that our family is protected, our friends are protected, our property is also protected. Last week we had an episode on fire and fire safety. We'll continue that a bit later this week. But today we want to focus on personal safety and home safety. Yeah, how to protect yourself, your family members, and your property at home. We reached out to our very good friends and one of the major players in the security business in Ghana. Tried and tested. They've done it all, from event security to residence and commercial security. You can trust Asuavo Security Company Limited. And our CEO, Richard Osei, says, look, I'll make time and come so we educate the public on this. And he's here. Mr. Richard Osei is the CEO of Asuavo Security, and he's here. Bro, welcome. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Really good to see you. I think the last time I saw you was at Labadi Beach Hotel when you featured on our Showbiz A to Z program as well, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. And today you're here in the studio to talk about personal security. Around this time, we're all gearing up for the festivities, to have fun, to spend time with family. Should we be worried about our security anyway?
Thank you for having me. Good evening to your cherished listeners, especially Elvis and Takrade. He's a loyal listener.
Oh, okay.
I'm
That's
sure
nice.
by now he's
so eager.
Greetings again to Mr. Chachu and his wife, Ruth.
Okay.
I'm honored to be here, and I commend your team for taking this initiative. Joy has always been good at this.
Yeah.
And I commend you.
Thank you so much.
I'm happy to be here to offer preemptive strategies that we can all implement in our daily lives to maximize our personal safety and security and minimize our exposure to threats.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is, individually, we are directly responsible for our safety, both outside our homes and then whilst we are in the house. So it's always a great time to have these discussions, where we can all remind ourselves of the existing threats and how we can all maneuver around them. Personal safety can be explained as protection of freedom from harm.
Mm-hmm.
It could be physical harm, it could be harassment, and any other way. So we always, the advice is to try as much as possible to avoid this threat.
Mm-hmm.
In the case where it happens, there are means that you can reach out for help. So what I would do is to try and go through quickly the measures that we cannot implement for our home safety.
Okay.
And then after, we can deal with the personal ones.
Personal safety. All right. So if you're listening in and you have any questions or you have any contributions, you can send us a WhatsApp on 055 1111997. Okay? 055 1111997. If you have any questions, you need clarity on anything as well, Ms. Osei would speak to that. So send me a WhatsApp on 055 1111997. All right. So we're talking about home and family safety now.
Okay. For home safety, the threats still theft and burglary are two common security threats for all kinds of property, including our homes. Although this commonly occur, it's relatively easy to protect against them if the right measures are used, such as eliminating easy access to all entry points. The measures that we can all employ to just make sure our homes are safe are the ones that I'm going to go through. There are a lot that we can all refer to on the net and then recognize site. For the starters, we are encouraged to install an alarm system or video surveillance system.
Okay. Alarm systems and video surveillance systems.
We normally refer to as CCTV.
The CCTV cameras. Okay.
We are encouraged to increase visibility by improving exterior lighting and installing motion sensors. Whilst we are not at home, it's always advised to give the impression that you are home. Don't broadcast your travel plans or social media on social media. Stop papers and mail. Use timers to alternate lights on at night and have a neighbor park a car in your homes. If you travel, get someone to check on your home. This is very important because you can ask a friend or a neighbor to check on your home every now and then and give you updates. Earlier
you mentioned that you can give the impression that you're home even when you're not.
There's a long-held measure. Remember our ancestors, the farmers, they use scarecrow to create the impression that there's somebody still at the farm in the night.
Yeah.
And so whilst you are not around, you can set timers. There are lighting systems that use timers.
Okay.
That the light can come on at a certain time, and even set alarm systems that can come on at a certain time, just to create the impression that you are home.
Yeah.
But then I always advise my clients, and then anybody who asks me for advice, that the best advice I can give for home safety is to live peacefully with your neighbor.
Okay.
Your friends, your relatives may not be close. The next person that can cover your back is your neighbor.
Okay.
You don't need to be friends. You don't need to belong to the same group, but at least you can share a mutual responsibility to cover each other's back.
Okay. So
whilst you are not there, any of your neighbors who are there can cover you and create a cover.
But sometimes the neighbor too is not there.
That's interesting. There will always be that neighbor. There will always be that neighbor who is always in the house. Okay. But then again, in the case where you are not around, that's why we fall on private security. If you can afford, it's always advisable to get security, even if not throughout the year. For December, where the festive season heightens the security threats at homes, you can decide to approach a security company. As for just for the month, there's always the tendency to negotiate, and you get a better rate. You can rely on Asuavo Security. There are other companies that I'm sure are ready to help. Moving on, check your door locks and windows anytime you return from outside. It's very important.
Okay.
Even whilst you are leaving the house, you need to check the doors and then the windows.
What are we looking for?
To make sure there are no defects or nobody has already not broken in.
Okay.
Before you come in, you need to check the doors and the windows. One key thing is also to develop and communicate contingency plans with your family for sheltering in place emergency evacuation and home intrusions. These measures are to help you prevent these emergencies or threats. But then there are cases where you may have to deal with it. So you always need to prepare yourself and your family. That in the case where you detect any intrusion or burglary, how do we go about it?
Okay.
Individually, you can do that with your family. Come up with codes, with the measures.
Okay.
In case you detect that somebody has jumped the wall, is not in the house yet, how do we go about it? It's always advised, and I found out last month from my advisors that you put off the lights within the house, inside the house, and then you put all the light outside when you realize that somebody has jumped over your wall or somebody is trying to scale over your wall.
When somebody is trying to scale over your wall, you
an
put
intruder, you detect an intruder is trying to have access to your house. You put off the light inside the house.
Put off the light inside the house?
Inside the house, and you put on the light outside in the compound. The meaning is that in your house, the person who is coming does not know
the areas around,
how
to move,
so if the light is off, even if he enters, he may not be able to move easily.
Yeah.
So if you have this emergency around, you may have a room or a corner that you communicate to your family members. In case this thing happens, we are all going to this side.
Okay.
So that will help. You put on the light outside, and that will alert the neighbors. Especially if that's not your normal measure. As soon as the light comes on, and it comes back to the fact that if you are at peace with your neighbor, if you don't get calls or alerts that, check, you've left your light on, or your car, the light are on, or check, I saw something at the back, then you need to really be careful.
Yeah.
And as if you are also not doing it for your neighbor, then you have to start doing it, because that's the way. If you do it, then it's reciprocal.
Okay.
So
there
are lots that we can do, and I will hand over this to you. It can be on your website as well.
Okay. Would love to see. We'll see if we can get my Joe Online to print these, put these guidelines online so that you can actually access them. Or probably this video as well is on our Facebook page. If you miss any part of this conversation, you can always go and check them out. Yeah.
A few things I will say on online behavior in order to safeguard yourself is ensure your privacy settings are intact and up to date on the social media sites you visit.
Okay.
Use discretion when posting any personal information on social sites. Posts intended for family and friends could inadvertently provide access to unintended audiences. Current and future employers, hackers, and those with ill intent. So we have to be careful what we post, even though it's always the edge to exhibit what you've acquired and what you have. But you have to secure your smartphones by updating operating systems regularly, disabling geotagging, using data encryption features, and avoid clicking on suspicious emails and links.
Okay. Around these times, a lot of hackers are sending emails with links and whatnot. They call some of them phishing and whatnot. They might just hack into your phone. So if you're receiving some of these messages that are suspicious, well, it's best you don't click on these links, right?
Okay. With all this, the key thing to keep in mind is, whichever the threat may be, if you minimize the access to your person or your homes, then you can be free of that threat. So in security, we always stress on access control.
Access control.
And that comes down to all the access that can lead to your house. The doors, the windows, sliding windows, the pet doors. Those are ones that people normally ignore. The pet doors and all that. You have to make sure they are all properly in place. If you can afford...
Did you say pet doors?
Yeah.
Which one is pet doors?
There are houses that have dogs as pet or cats. Normally, they leave a small space.
Right, okay.
But the pet can easily go
in and out. Okay, I see that.
We have to be careful in the evening when you are sleeping. Wherever you want the pet to be, if it's a dog and you want the dog to be outside, you need to seal it out, because easily, with the big doors, easily people can just sneak in through.
Yeah.
So, like I said, there are other measures that we can employ to make sure our homes are safe. But it all comes down to controlling the access to our homes.
Okay. All right. Stanley in Achimota sent a message and is asking which is the best for security, barbed wire fencing or electric fencing?
Both are quite good, depending on the compound. But electric fencing is a bit reliable.
A bit more reliable. Okay.
But then the problem with that is access to electricity.
Okay.
Because if you don't have light, that means it's totally
useless.
But
I think some of them have a standby period where even when your lights go off, it's got battery power that can stay on for maybe some 8 hours or something till the light comes back.
Yeah, that's we have various systems. For the ones that you are talking about, that have the standby power. So as long as there's power, it's fine. Useful.
Yeah.
But in the case where you lose that power, it means it becomes useful.
And aside the fact that it will electrocute anybody who tampers with it, it has an alarm system as well.
Yeah, it always comes with a siren.
Yeah, the siren. So if somebody trips it or cuts into it, it goes off.
Yeah. So that's the upper hand over the mesh.
The mesh.
The mesh. But the mesh it gives you what it gives you all the time. Unless it's cut from the wall. It's supposed to cause harm to anybody who tries to jump over it. So you get that at all times.
Yeah.
As long as it's in place, you get that.
Yeah.
But with the electric, even though it comes with a more secure, more reliable protection, the danger is when there is no light.
Okay. All right.
So moving on to personal security. The truth is, individually, we are directly responsible for our safety, and this is coincidental to our right of privacy. So since we don't want the government or police to invade our privacy, then we also need to take up the responsibility of keeping ourselves safe, whether we are in the house or we go out to public spaces. So it's always better to keep in mind the fact that whatever you do will determine how safe you are wherever you are. So I'll run through. There was a publication by Magad Limited, and I always share this with my clients. I'll just pick on the important point, and then we can all derive on it. Whether you are walking home alone at night, traveling in an unfamiliar area, or simply going about your daily routine, there are steps you can take to protect yourself and reduce the risk of becoming a victim. There is also the danger of being attacked or being harassed in public. So the first thing to bear in mind is to be aware of your surroundings. This means paying attention to the people and environment around you and noticing any potential threat or risk. You have to avoid distractions such as texting, talking on the phone, or listening to music when you are out in public, as these can make you an easy target for criminals. Another key strategy for personal safety is to trust your instincts. As soon as you feel that you are not safe at any place, you have the right to leave. Nobody can forcibly hold you that you should stay. If something or someone seems suspicious or makes you feel uncomfortable, it's important to listen to your gut and take action to protect yourself. This might mean crossing the street, getting into a crowded area, or seeking help from a nearby authority figure. There are many apps and devices available today that can help you stay safe. From personal safety alarms to location sharing apps, there are many tools that can help you. And this one brings in mind that you always need to share your location with friends and family.
Okay.
But then be careful on what you share on your status.
Yeah.
Because that can attract somebody who is trying to harm you. When traveling or going out in unfamiliar areas, it's always a good idea to plan ahead. Know where you are going, how you will get there, and what to do if something goes wrong. Make sure someone knows your plans and check in with them regularly.
Okay.
I always advise, if you have 2 phones and you know you'll be out for a long time, make sure you put off one, so that in case your battery run out of the other one, you have the other one to at least help you get in touch in case of emergencies. You have to be always proactive and take steps to prevent dangers before they arise. The key word is to avoid harm to yourself and anybody who is with you. So you don't wait till you get hurt before you cry foul. You always need to make sure you are alert, you are attentive to what you are doing, and you are vigilant. And by being vigilant, I mean avoid late night outings if you can. But then again, there's an end of the year. We all realize you are still alive. No matter how
the parties go late into the night.
No matter how the year went, you still have life, and we need to celebrate life. But it shouldn't be at the cost of your life or harm. So avoid late night outings if you can. Limit phone use in public places so your focus remains on your surroundings.
Okay.
Keep backpacks and purses zipped and close to your body when in public spaces. Travel with others when possible and alert others of your plans when venturing out solo.
Okay.
Always have your keys in hand when walking across parking lots and garages to your car. You don't go to your car and then now you start searching for your key.
Okay.
You give that window for anybody who is trying to help you. But if you have your key in mind, you can use 10 seconds, get into your car. And as soon as you get into your car, you have to lock the
You have to lock the doors. Okay.
Keep the interior of your car clean with valuables hidden from sight or locked in the trunk. And this advice also goes to the home safety. Even after you've locked your doors and windows, make sure your valuables are a bit far from those entry points.
Okay.
Because in case somebody is able to break the window, whatever is closer is what he or she will pick.
Yeah.
And so you have, make sure your valuables are a bit further from the windows and the doors.
Even if they don't break the windows, when they're close to the windows, they can just
They
reach
can
out
always slide in the hand and then take.
As long as the thieves even have some long stick and they put glue on it.
Magnets for metals
magnets
and all
those
that.
things. Yeah.
So your phones, tablets, laptops, at least try as much as possible. Keep it in the middle of the room, and you can always spare some money and then get a safe. So that whilst you are on travels, you can keep some valuables in the safe. And then there's a practice where people leave their spare keys outside for maybe if they may get a visitor or somebody, artisans, to go and work in their house. As much as I understand why they do that, it's not advisable.
Okay.
If it's an artisan who is coming to work, if you are not in the house, get somebody who can even monitor what the person is doing. And then if you leave a key, now everybody is aware of that trick. Like a stone, you hit it under a stone, a flower pot and all that. So unless you can find a way to really keep it safe, because if anybody finds out that key, it's like you just open the door for the person.
You literally handed everything to them.
Yeah. The last one that I would say for personal security, to be vigilant, is never attach readily visible identifying information, name, address, and phone on your keys or bags. Doing so gives criminals direct insight to where you live.
Okay.
So you may lose your item, your valuables, but then if you keep this information on those items, you are inviting the person to track you more for more. Okay. Important valuables, and you wouldn't want to lose more than that, more than your valuables. Yeah. So I would say these are the measures that.
These are very important measures. I'm glad you shared these with us, and it's been quite educative. So if you're listening out there, these are the tips that we decided to share with you for your personal safety and safety of your home as well and your property. And any other thing you want to add before we wrap up?
Yes. These are all to help you prevent being attacked or getting into serious problems. But in case it should happen, there are some numbers that you can reach to. Yeah. We have the police toll-free numbers, the 191 and then the 18555. All right. On hand to reach them during emergencies. We also have the Ghana Police Complaint Desk. And the numbers are 0550 323323 and 027-5000-156. You can send voice calls and short messages
to these numbers.
These
are numbers that you really should have on hand, and probably even speed dial. If you can put them on your speed dial on your phone, that's good. The toll-free number is 191
and 18555.
Yes, 18555. And
Then-
please, 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 I think the police have said this a lot of times, that the prank calls, this is not a time to be making prank calls to these numbers. You only access these numbers when you're in an emergency or you need help, okay? So don't just call them and check on them. No, they are fine. Just use these numbers when you need help. It's very important. Have them on your phone. Thank you so much. I think this has been really good, my brother. You've been kind to us. Richard Osei is the CEO of Asuavo Security Company, and we've been talking about personal safety and your home safety for this season. Okay, so thank you. I'm grateful that you came by.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So we'll keep updating you and share more with you as well how you can be safe during this Yule time.